That's okay.
It's too early. I need another cup of coffee. Anyway, we're going to interview Kenneth and get his take on the session that we had this morning.
Thank you. Well, I've been involved in dealing with the illegal alien issue for years. I was here during the last session when we passed the bill to cut the funding to cities that provide sanctuary to illegal aliens. Now these, so when I heard about this refugee resettlement thing, it was of course the eve before Christmas Eve, as Asa intentionally timed it to minimize the number of people that would know about this. But thanks to efforts from myself and Jan Morgan and other activists, we've made a lot of people aware of what's going on. Basically, this is part of what we call the third world what I call the third world invasion, where they are replacing those in need here in the state of Arkansas, our veterans, our homeless, legal people that are here with those with the same vetting system that has failed us so many times before. I mentioned on the Facebook live stream the Fort Dix terror plot, where three of them were here illegally, two of them were here legally, one was getting citizenship. The tsnarev brothers, who I believe were one on the path to getting citizenship and claimed asylum despite them being Muslim. One of them should have been deported for beating up his girlfriend. They both went back to visit their family relatives when they were, despite being so-called refugees. The government has failed us. They failed us since the 86-87 amnesty, and so we can't trust them to vet these so-called refugees, who could, by the way, be placed in any other country. They could also be placed in military bases if they help our government in some way, shape, or form. And nobody seems to mention that. If these people are generally under dire straits, they can be placed. We have bases all over the world. We have countries that we've protected over the years all over the world. They could easily go to Ramstein, Germany, or any other military base and be housed there. But for some reason, there seems to be some obsession with trying to get these so-called refugees up to here. And I say so-called because, as I said before, it's a lot of times it's been a scam. It's supposedly from a war-torn area, and then we find out it's some guy turns out he was not from a war-torn area at all. And we've seen examples where this has failed. Asa and others can promise all the time that this is going to work, that these people are going to pay their own way, and that they're going to benefit the country. And yet we've seen in Europe, we've seen in Sweden where they're having a virtual civil war now. We've seen in England where they have no-go zones. We've seen in France a massive increase in terror attacks. And we've seen it here in America with Dearborn, Michigan, with Mila Omar's district. It's a no-go zone. They've had terrorists arrested there. And I'm sorry, we don't have the USA can't assimilate people now. And so this needs to be stopped. You can call your governors, call your county officials. I called Joseph Wood. He's a Republican, recently elected here in Washington County, and tell him to rescind this, to oppose this refugee so-called resettlement program. It needs to be stopped. Oh, there's actually my state rep right there, Carlton Wing, on the phone. He's doing an interview. Hey, Carlton. They had another hearing regarding water safety, but this actually ties into all that. A lot of our infrastructure is falling apart because the illegals come in, they don't pay their own way, or they don't pay near as much as a legal resident would, and then somehow or your local counties having to raise taxes. As a matter of fact, there's several special election tax increases, mainly with schools happening tomorrow. All across the state, Stuttgart, Whitehall, they're having to raise taxes, and nobody can seem to find out why. Well, it's because a lot of times you have illegal aliens. Our nation is not ready to handle more refugees. It's too corrupt. It needs to be reformed first, and that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Sure. Thank you. All right.
You want to try and get your representative to?
I don't know. He's on a phone right now. He's busy with something else.
Can you do an interview? She said
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, I was going to say that.